Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're getting packed up, ready to go on another trip. Unfortunately, the 93 Dodge is not making it with us this time. So this is what we got. Suburban, OBS Ford. Suburban's actually pretty nice. The Ford's seen a lot better days. But we got 2 truck beds to take with us. So I've got the yard crane out and we're gonna get both of these loaded up. We're gonna hook the truck up and set them on the trailer and go from there. So hope y'all enjoy this mess of watching me catapult these things around. Is it bouncing off of that triangle support? Right there. Well, I need to get the stake pocket, so well, you know, that's a great surprise. Satisfaction. Success. Okay guys, we are loaded. So I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side here. Put a board up under the front lip. It was just too close to this rail here, and there's just a tiny bit of space in there. You can go just forward just a hair. That's too much. Now we're touching this thing. I know we are. Yep. God, why do you gotta move so much? Just half an inch. Ah! There we go. Perfect. Because that won't really move in correlation to each other, but this truck's gonna bounce a little bit. I already know it because that's just my hand. So, and then I got some trade secrets for here. What I do is I take this thing you saw me put in, slip it down in here, slip it up in there, and then your beds are connected. Then if it's a long bed, regardless of what model and make, usually you can get them to match up on all four corners. If not, if it's a short bed, I just put a 1x4, 2x4, something in here to just let it rest on. Then I run a strap all the way from the bottom of the head of the bed, just diagonal across the other side of the bumper over there. She'll hold it. So that's all set. Now you might also be wondering, what was this thing? Well, I had lived in Pennsylvania, out by Pittsburgh, for a while, area called Greensburg. Some of y'all may be familiar with it. Well, and I don't own no skid steer or tractor or big fancy machine. Neither did I have the money for it, so being a fabricator, I sat down and thought to myself, how can I build something to move heavy things around my yard that I can't pick up, such as truck beds, cabs, halves of trucks, cars, you name it. And I was like, well, I can just make a crane thing. So it did. And you got beam from here to a trailer axle, 5 lug. Then you got about a 15-foot beam to give you a fulcrum that's like 10 feet in the air. And you got your chain fall. I've had a number of people ask me, is that a catapult? Well, I mean, yeah, it can kind of be a catapult, because it is kind of, not really kind of, it has catapulted me, because you can let the tongue get to about that much up. Any more than that, you get maybe here. Oh, she's going, and you're going with her. There's a teeter-totter point, and it's taking you with it. And I have been flung, and so I have learned that, keep that thing below your waist. If that tongue comes up above your waist, you got like 2 seconds, and other than that, you better let go. I have the most I've ever picked up with it, I believe, was right around 2,500 pounds. And at that point, it was picking up the rear end of the 2006 Chevy 2500 Duramax that I had at the time, and it would not drive anywhere in the yard. I mean, it was not like flopping, but it just had the tires just barely up off the ground. And then I've also had an aluminum utility body, and I went to pick it up one time, and I had a 2016 Ram 1500 with a 6-cylinder, and it was attached to it. And it did. I got the aluminum body maybe about 2 feet off the ground, and then all of a sudden it just went whoof, and the rear of the truck just went up in the air. It was very entertaining. So, but she worked good for getting around the yard. I will definitely say that. And this, at the time when I built it in 2020, I believe it was, 2020, only costed me $750. So $750 compared to trying to find an off-road forklift, which is kind of difficult in my area, or a skid steer, which is absolutely impossible. So I'm gonna get this bed strapped down, clean up my tools, and we'll see about getting on the road, guys. Well, that'll do it for today, guys. I appreciate y'all tuning in. If you like the monotony you saw, leave a like down below. I wish I could have gotten a little bit better footage, but between running around and everything, it was a little bit difficult. I actually dropped both truck beds, not like all the way to the ground. They let loose from the straps and they slid down the hook. I think it was like 4 times overall. It's 3 times with the black one, once with the white one. It just, my hook's not big enough. I should have a D-ring, but even if I have a D-ring, sometimes when the bed gets to rocking, the just hook or D-ring will make the cross section of the straps just move under the bed. And because I have a manual in the Dodge, it makes it pretty difficult. And what makes it even worse is it's a dual disc Velair clutch. It's their lowest option for a dual disc clutch. But I don't know if you guys have ever operated a dual disc clutch. It's clutch, then you have an intermediate plate, which is a circle with 4 tabs on the outside. Then you have another clutch disc, then you have your pressure plate. And the flywheel has these bosses that stick out, kind of like 4 pucks on either side. So the clutch disc goes in, then you have the intermediate plate with the 4 pieces that stick out, and it sits in between those bosses on the flywheel. Then you have, like I said, the other clutch disc. So when you let the clutch out, all of that starts to grab together, and you can feel like one of the clutch discs start to grab and turn. But because you've got 2 discs that have to engage, you have a lot of travel where it doesn't really do anything. And once you kind of break the clutch in, it does get smooth. At the beginning, it was very rough. But that's also that rattling that you hear during the video. That's me pushing the clutch in, and that intermediate plate has a little bit of play. It goes back and forth, creating all that noise. So that makes it a little hard for me to back things up and work with the yard crane. I prefer to have an automatic with it, but it is what it is. So I'm going to give a shout out to my wonderful girlfriend for manning the beds while I was trying to mount them on the trailer. She can't drive a 5-speed. I also don't know if I would feel comfortable having her not having driven a 5-speed that much, or a manual operate the truck and try and sling them around, considering I already dropped them 4 times. So there's no damage done. I wish I would have gotten that on camera because it was kind of entertaining. One of them literally swung back, flopped the tire off of it. As soon as it went vertical, it just slid straight down and landed on its butt and just stopped right there. It's a cool little trick. Should have gotten it on camera. I'll try and get some of that next time, though. Like I said, if you enjoyed what you saw, leave a like. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thank you for joining me on this adventure in my front yard.